The Astros celebrated Canada Day with a victory in Canada, and Hunter Brown continued his dominance. Yordan Alvarez showed pop, and the team won another game. They started July off with a bang.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. You find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making us part of your daily routine. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and become an everydayer. Somebody listens to our podcast every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As the playoffs wind down, the sports start sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started today. And I'm sure a lot of people were betting against the Astros to do anything this year, Brett. But Brett, where can they find you? And the Astros are doing really great.
Yeah, they can find me at H-Show Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Facebook and on X. They can also find me on Back to the Bullpen on Instagram, on YouTube, and on X. Look, man, I'm always positive, always Stros. And in honor of my late great-grandmother, Mimi, she was Canadian. Oh, Canada, that's their big holiday. Canada Day is a big thing up there. And this was the day they're wearing the red uniforms. Yariel Garcia was pitching really well, but the Astros had other plans. They weren't going to let off the gas pedal. And Eric, it's nice to start June 31st with the win. Why do I say that? Because let's continue to make this the month of June for Yordan Alvarez, because in June he hits home runs. So June 31st, maybe tomorrow can be June 32nd. Let's just extend June into September and maybe Yordan get to 40 home runs this year.
Yeah, Hunter Brown had a dominant June, and he continued that into July. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then Jeremy Pena did something he hasn't done in a while to help the Astros win. And Vladimir Gurrero Jr. was actually scratched before the game, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's being traded to the Houston Astros." But apparently got hit by the pitch in the game before. So this was something where they probably wanted to play him, but to be cautious, they decided to go ahead and rest him. So I don't know if the Astros are going to go out and get Guerrero. We'll see. But the trade deadline, this is officially trade season with the SZN. So trade season, so definitely a lot on the plate. But we saw Dana Brown basically say by the end of July, he hopes to cut the lead in the division by half. The Astros have done that. They've actually cut it down by 2/3. It's down to 3 games. The Astros are 3 games behind the Mariners. The Mariners are not going to play a game today. So the Astros are doing really good right now. They're playing good baseball. That's why I put the title as "Oh, Canada, the Astros are good again." And kind of tying into the politics that's going around right now as well. But it's just crazy to see how bad this team was, how bad Hunter Brown was at the start of the season. But he is the guy we thought he was. And he's showing it right now. He could have imploded in that second inning. He could have. I think he had a couple walks in that inning, if not 3 walks, and bases were loaded. And there's issues there. He could have done what he did in the first half of the first half of the season, where he wasn't a very good pitcher. He could have done what he did there, but instead he's a different pitcher. He has a different mindset. Even when he's not on top of his game, he still goes out there and pitches 6 shutout innings. This dude is him.
Oh, I thought, yeah, but I thought he was on top of his game today. He looked great. I mean, this guy is dominant, Eric. He is one of the first pitchers in Astros history in a 5-start span. He has a .29 ERA in that span. In Astros history, you have Hunter Brown this year, Jim DeShays back in 1986, Nolan Ryan 84, Nolan Ryan 81, and J.R. Richard both in 1979 or 1980 and 1979. So that's some pretty elite company. If Hunter Brown is not awarded Pitcher of the Month, then we should all protest in front of the MLB offices there. I mean, protesting seems to be the name of the game these days. So let's just go hold out signs and justice for Hunter Brown. But seriously, man, Hunter Brown went out there today, Eric, and did absolutely excellent. I loved it. And he makes our scoreboard, our WPA leader today at 39.8. And then you had Yoriel Garcia. Look at this. You had 2 Blue Jays in there that were in the top 3. You only had 1 Houston Astro. But there's a player that we can't forget today that didn't hit a home run, but he was 3 for 4. Actually, no, he did hit a home run. John Singleton. He didn't
hit a home run today. No,
he did not. Okay. Well,
he hit a home run the day before.
The day before. That's right. He had a solo shot the day before. He was 3 for 4 today, though. I mean, right? Wasn't that today or
no? I think that no, he was 0 for 3 today. I mean, he was 0 for 3. Okay,
that was the game before. I'm sorry, I'm getting my games mixed up. But dude, Alex Bregman led off today, 2 for 4, and they got the job done without Altuve in there. You had defense at the end. Dubon made an amazing stab at the end, towards the end of the game, where if that ball gets past him, the Blue Jays could have extended it. So I actually love this win. Some people like David in here would say that we got lucky with 4 hits, and only scoring, a few runs. But you know what? Baseball is not about how many runs or how many hits you get. It's if you have more runs than the other team, and whether it's 1 run more than the other team or 3, it doesn't matter. A win is a win, and you got to keep your foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah, going back to Hunter Brown, during the month of June, I think we've already discussed this. He was 4-0 with a 1.16 ERA in 31 innings pitched. He had 36 strikeouts, 8 walks, 21 hits. In his last 5 starts, including June, of course, he has a 0.29 ERA. He has 5 wins in a row. He is doing pretty good. So consider this. Think about this. At one point, he had a 10 ERA. I don't have the exact date he had that 10 ERA, but on May 5th, his ERA was 8.89. Now on July 1st, it is 4.07. So if he goes out in his next start and has a good start, he can go sub 4 ERA. This could be a remarkable story for the Houston Astros. As bad a start as all of us, I believe I even said he probably needs to go down to AAA to work on stuff. And so for him to do what he's done is remarkable. And it wasn't a slight against him. We all knew the talent that he possesses. He just wasn't executing his pitches. And it was just adding a pitch and maybe removing a pitch or just figuring it out. And at some point, a good major league pitcher figures it out. And that's what Hunter Brown did. It may have took him a little bit. He might have got his butt whooped a few times to eventually get the lesson, but he got the lesson. And now we're seeing a dominant side. He has 8 straight quality starts today, 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. And so he was a little bit wild. I think he threw 46 pitches in the first 2 innings, but 1 inning he only had 8 pitches, I want to say, and 19 pitches in 2 innings or something like that. So he got really efficient pretty quickly and was able to stay in for 6 innings. So this guy is a great pitcher. I think we're seeing him become an ace in front of our eyes.
And I think this is where Hunter Brown can separate himself eventually in his career from someone like a Framber Valdez. Where Framber Valdez has dominant stuff. Framber Valdez, we know, can come out and strike out anybody. It's all about what's between the ears. And Hunter Brown, I've seen that mentality from when I watched him here in Sugarland talk to him, just listening to what he says, his body language during interviews, everything that I've seen about him tells me that this kid passes the test of he's going to be great. Now, I'm not saying he's the next Justin Verlander and all that stuff, but I am saying that you're right, Eric. That's a great observation. He does pass the smell test, and I think we've got a lot to see. That we have a really bright future to see in Hunter Brown.
And in a second, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about Jeremy Pena, and we'll go ahead and talk about Alex Bregman batting leadoff. Why did he bat leadoff? And we'll talk about that in a second.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Look, I love sports. You love sports. I love them so much that I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down and we get fewer games, the sports aren't sporting like we want them to. But for baseball fans, it's in full swing. And FanDuel lets you keep the sports going whenever you want to. All you have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime that you're in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers, all customers, with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/LockedOn and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Now go FanDuel it out.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that little red subscribe button down there and go and give us a big fat thumbs up and make us part of your daily routine on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. If you need more Astros talk, if the Astros keep on winning and you want more Astros talk, go and check out Michael Connor with the Locked On Astros postcast as well. He does a great job after every game, and just like what we do. And so guys, you can watch everything on your Amazon Fire TV stick. Just go and search the free channels app. And Bregman led off for the first time today since I want to say since it was 2019. So this is something that Alex Bregman is not known for. He's not known as a leadoff guy. He looked a little bit more comfortable there today. I know the first inning he popped up, but he was 2 for 3. I think you said he was, right. And he actually had some good at bats. And this is a one-day thing. Jose Altuve. It's not because he got ejected the day before. No. This was a planned day off, and so this means he had a day and a half technically off. So I think this will pay some dividends down the road if the Astros do make it to the playoffs. Bregman, what do you think with him batting leadoff?
I mean, I thought it was good. He came in, did his job. He was actually 2 for 4 today with 1 double, 2 hits and scoring 1 run. Keeps his average over 250. His OPS is up to 710. And although that's not great, it's a lot better than what it was. Eric, he was one of several guys that hit the ball really hard. The Astros had several hard hit balls. And right here, you'll see Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, Yainer Diaz, Jeremy Pena. And then if we move that comment, you can see, there you go, and Yainer Diaz. So we had some hard hit balls. We were making solid contact off of the Blue Jays pitcher, and Alex Bregman came in and did the job. Yes, it was a day off. It wasn't because Altuve was mad. It wasn't because he was limping because his foot was injured. But this is still, again, this team is doing this without Kyle Tucker, without the guy that has been producing most consistently from beginning to when he got injured on this season. When we get Kyle Tucker back, and if this team is still rolling, which I don't anticipate them, dialing it back any, because we've got we've got some good matchups this month. I think we have the ability to win 15, 16 games again this month, even more if we keep playing this way. It's fun to see Bregman back in that leadoff spot. He probably enjoyed that. He is a competitor. He made some great stops at third base. George Springer could have opened the game up with the line drive that could have gone over Bregman's head, or he could have misplayed it. So Breggy, from leadoff to the glove, good game today.
Yeah, I do want to make a little comment about Altuve's non-call there where he got ejected. Fans across baseball have been calling him out, saying that he's not a team player. He should have he should have tried to do something, or they're just saying that their guy like Marcus Semien would have known what to do in that play and tried to
okay,
run.
well,
it's just like, shut up, guys.
That's Ranger envy, and they're probably pissed because Altuve still leads the all-star vote in the second phase. Hey, it's important. Y'all go to the second phase voting. It's important that you vote Kyle Tucker. He's fourth, that you vote Yordan, keep him first, and you vote Jose Altuve, keep him first. I even talked my son into casting a couple votes today. I got some of his friends on it. So look, get your kids together. If you got a USSSA team, you got a select team, baseball, softball, get them all to vote for the Astros. They deserve to be there. And I want Jose Altuve
summer school. Get your students to do it.
That's right. I want Jose Altuve starting in Arlington. Not Marcus Semien. I don't want a single Ranger starting this All-Star game for that reason, because it's in Arlington.
Oh, before we move off the All-Star game, since you kind of brought it up, after the game, Alvarez was asked if he would be interested in participating in the home run derby. And he said, at this point, I'm going to just focus on trying to help the team win, trying to finish the first half strong. It's really something I'm not super motivated to do right at this moment. However, if he gets a call, I'm sure he's going to be like, sure, I'll do it.
I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. I do not. Look, I love this mentality, Eric. This is a team first mentality. And this is a guy that is more concerned about winning for his club than winning a home run derby. Right. Look, we already know Yordan Alvarez can hit home runs. You know what I would love? I was actually talking about this to a friend. You know who would be great in a home run derby? I'm not lying. John Singleton or Trey Cabbage. Have you seen them take BP? They absolutely crush baseballs. And in Arlington, that would be hilarious. An Astros non-superstar goes in there to the home run derby, but I don't want Yordan anywhere near the home run derby.
Right.
Yordan, stay rested. We need you, big fella. We don't need you in the home run derby. We know you can hit long balls, but I love that's a team first mentality. And I absolutely love that. 100%. I'm on board with that.
Yes. So the Astros have won 10 of their last 11 games. They've won 13 of their last 17. They are officially streaking. They're doing exactly what Dana Brown said they're going to do. And I know at the time we all snickered and like, they can't even win 2 games in a row. How you expect them to go on a winning streak if they can't even win 2 games in a row? But they are doing it now. And they're sometimes they're doing it the easy way where they score a whole bunch of runs. Sometimes, like today, it was a hard way. And I know that Brown, we already talked about him. He pitched a good game. Abreu got out of a pickle. He had the bases loaded with 1 out, and Abreu, luckily with Springer up, Springer hit a ball right to Bregman. You mentioned it, and that was a great play right there. Then he got the final out of the inning. But Abreu looks like he's a little bit off. I think they're rust or overuse, maybe being out too long or overuse has gotten to him a little.
Look, I think it's a little bit of both, Eric. I don't think it's one thing or another in particular. I think it's also, it could be a rhythm thing, could be a lot of things. I mean, that's, pitching is such a fine-tuned science now. It's not anything like Little League. Like, okay, well, we know he reaches, his pitch limit, so we can't throw him. I mean, he did look a little off today, but he didn't give up a run, man. He didn't, he got the bases loaded and he got out of it. And that's what kind of win we haven't been getting at the beginning of the year. This is a win you had to scrap for. This was a win. It wasn't necessarily a grind like the last game was, but it's a win that you have a dominant 2 pitchers starting out, keeping the offenses silent. And even though there was 1 home run by Pena, this Cuban pitcher who I really thought the Astros were going to get, really kept the Astros under wraps. And that's what you have to do. You just go up to bat. Look, next at bat, I just got to get it. What's more important, the last at bat or what I'm doing right now? And that's what they do. And the ball's bouncing their way too. So the ball bouncing over the fence, on the top of the fence for Yordan, that's what happens when you win baseball games. It's all just coming. I think it's coming together quite nicely.
Yeah, Yariel Rodriguez, he didn't allow a hit for the first 4 2/3 innings. I was in a car listening on radio, and I heard them talking about the Blue Jays have never thrown a no-hitter, and like Justin Verlander has thrown more no-hitters than the entire Blue Jays organization.
Wow.
2 in Toronto because he did one with the Tigers, and of
Right.
course one with the Houston Astros. So we'll go ahead and talk Jeremy Pena. What did Joe Spada have to say about Loperfido playing first base, and then more about Justin Verlander, his comeback, and what does it mean for 2025?
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for the first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily sports app with over 5 million active members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. Look, I played it. I love it. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and the winnings roll in. If you do up to 4 correct picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000. That's right. There's a ton of things coming on. The WNBA Finals. Will someone like Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark get there? They're breaking records as rookies. You've got the Houston Astros surging and trying to get back on top of AL West, no matter what it is. Check out Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Here on Locked On Astros, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. So don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years experience and A-plus business rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season, you need help correctly filing, or like myself, where you have a regular job, you have a self-employment status, freelancing work, this is what you do. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/locked on, and be sure to mention Locked On Astros at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount on their services.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that little red button down there that says subscribe. Go ahead and give us a big fat thumbs up while you're doing it. We got 152 people watching live. We got many more people listening and watching live afterwards. But go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And we got a lot of people out there that have become everydayers. We want you to become one as well. Somebody listens to our podcast every day, be part of the Locked On Astros Nation, and we welcome you and all your opinions and everything. So we may not always agree with them, but we welcome them. So it seems like Carlos Correa is in the chat. So welcome, Carlos. You're a little bit early.
Oh,
you're
wow.
not supposed to be here
Carlos
till the weekend.
Correa is here. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Poppy. He's here.
Yeah, I guess I'm off day, so there's nothing better to do. The Astros were one of only 3 games playing today, so a lot of teams are off.
He probably got done with his massage early today.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what happened. So I know that a lot of people have been wanting Joey Loperfido to play a little bit more first base. He got his opportunity because of the whole miracle game, as I call it, in New York City, where the rain and the Astros had the biggest comeback of the season. But he pinch ran for John Singleton. They could have technically brought in Trey Cabbage. I believe he's played some at first base. But I think this was Joe Spada saying, okay, let's see what the kids got. And so he said, Joe Spada says, he was asked, can he play more first base? He said, I think so. I was more impressed by the stretch on a throw by Alex Bregman. Those are when you actually get to see if a guy has a feel for not stretching too early and the direction that he stretches. I thought he handled first base really well. And Channer Rome goes on to say, it's not always about getting to the bag on time, but where are you playing? Where are you going to be as the cutoff guy? There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into being a first baseman. A lot of people think that first base is one of the easiest jobs out there. As somebody that played co-ed softball, it's hard to find somebody that can play first base, that can catch balls, first of all, but also that knows where to be and where to.
Hold on. I can't. No. You can't use your softball experience and tell people.
What I mean. There's so much that goes into the thinking.
Eric's like, look, I played co-ed softball. I know what it takes. Hey, look, man. Look, I didn't even play a single out of high school baseball. And so, I can tell you how difficult it was to play base. That's why on Back to the Bullpen, I tell people I was like runner up for Teacher of the Year 2 years in a row. And, I threw out 18 of 24 runners as a catcher when I was 14 in Pony League baseball. But no, I just think it's funny. Look, first base is difficult. You can only find expert baseball analysis like this on Locked On Astros. I mean, nobody else goes deeper than we do. I mean, you've heard of The Athletic and all their podcasts, but nobody covers it like we do. But seriously, Eric, just, going back to the basics, I don't think right now we need to worry a ton about Kyle Tucker. And I want to say this before we get to the whole Verlander talk, because a lot of people are like, when is Tucker coming back? This team is playing fine. We need Tucker to be 100% healthy. I don't want to see Tucker until after the All-Star break, if I'm being honest. I don't want him playing the All-Star game. I don't want him until after. And take your time, because this team's doing well without him. And this team's gaining their identity with other players other than just Tucker. And I think that's a good thing in the long run. I was bat girl in high school for the baseball team. Hey, I bet you know about like stealing signs. I bet you they had you steal signs and every once in a while. I'm sure that's old school right there. Good job. But anyways, Eric, so what's up with Justin Verlander? What is up with 2025?
Well, like we said, we don't really know what's going on with him. The Astros have said that he played catch, but the 140 inning mark is kind of where he's at. And so the first 10 starts, he only threw 82 and 2/3 innings. So think of, if you do the math, he's still got a long way. So last season, he did throw 92 and 1/3 innings after the All-Star break. So there is a chance that he could get that with no issue. But the question is, how long is he going to be out?
Right.
How many minor league starts is he going to require? And how is he going to be able to go in those games? So he was fully stretched out at that point after the All-Star break and everything like that. So I think that it's a big deal. We talked about it yesterday. It's a matter of if the Astros could go out and get a free agent pitcher.
Right.
The Astros, if they're able to get the 140 inning mark for Justin Verlander, the Mets will have to pay for half of that.
Look, we need Justin Verlander to get that 140 for that reason alone. But Eric, I don't see how there's any way with this team winning and with this team clearly being able to look at the division and say it's a realistic thing that Dana Brown doesn't go out and add to the pitching staff,
Okay. Hey, I misread it. He's actually thrown 57 and 1/3 innings. He needs 82 and 2/3 innings for the rest of the season. So that's a big hill to climb.
Right. So, but with that being said, I think with Justin being out, and yes, Garcia actually will be pitching in a game in Corpus here pretty soon. Like you mentioned, the 60 feet, Lance McCullers is still getting better, but Eric, they absolutely have to get a pitcher right now. They have to get a pitcher. And they're going to have to give up somebody to get him. I really think this kid, Eric Fetty out of Chicago would be a good pickup. There's a few other arms that I've been looking at. I don't exactly know who I want the Astros to target, but I definitely want to talk about that this week, because we need to move somebody. We need to get somebody in here because right now we are very, very thin when it comes to starting pitchers. And you don't know what you're going to get out of McCullers. You don't know what you're going to get out of Garcia. Dana Brown can have all the faith in the world. And we know what kind of grinder McCullers is. We know that Luis Garcia, when he's at his best, he's really good. But you don't know what they're going to do. So you go out and get a for sure fire guy to come in there. That way you take the pressure off your two guys that have been injured.
Right. And I think we skipped this. This was Jeremy Pena's first home run since May 17th. So it hasn't been quite the homers drought of last year where he didn't hit a home run for the whole second half of the season. But it was a little homer drought. So it's good to see him with a big hit when the Astros needed. And definitely. Alvarez's home run was huge because the Astros only had a 1-run lead. If he didn't hit that 2-run homer, then Josh Hader gave up that home run in the 9th inning. Then it would have been a tie game. And then we know how tie games normally go for the Astros.
Well, but lately,
I know recently, but
you don't want to give the other team chances. So your point is very well taken. Look, man, another great show. Look, our fans, you know what? Kyle Tucker may have been on an MVP run, but you know who has never stopped being the MVP? Our listeners and our viewers. They're amazing, Eric. They make us who we are. We are the most downloaded Astros podcast on the planet to this day, and y'all are the reason why. So thank y'all so much. Eric, what are your closing thoughts?
The Blue Jays have scored 3 runs, and it's been off of Josh Hader. So go and think about that. We'll be back tomorrow for another Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We'll see you tomorrow, and go Astros.
I just was nodding. I didn't know what to do. My hands.
Try and press the music.
No, it's okay.